There's a moment, so small that you almost don't notice it. You're sitting in a familiar chair. Maybe it's the one by the window. Maybe it's the chair you've used for years without thinking about it. You place your hands on the armrests and begin to stand. And for just a second, something feels different. Not exactly pain, not sharp, not alarming. Just a slight hesitation, a bit of stiffness, a feeling that your knees are thinking more than they used to. You straighten up, you take a step, everything seems fine again, so you continue with your day. But that small moment stays with you because you can't quite explain it, yet you feel it again later. When stepping off a curb, when turning to reach for something behind you, when starting to walk after standing still. It's subtle, it happens quietly, and you may not notice it at first, but over time, it starts to feel familiar, like something is changing, not all at once, just little by little. And here's something many people eventually realize, often later than they wish. Sometimes it's not the movement itself that matters most. It's how you begin it. That very first moment, that small, almost invisible second before your body actually moves. That's where a lot is decided. And that's also where something surprisingly simple can make a difference. A habit that takes about 5 seconds. Nothing complicated, nothing demanding, just a small pause. A gentle awareness, a subtle adjustment. Over time, it can help your knees feel more stable, more supported, more trustworthy. If you're someone who cares about staying steady, moving comfortably, and protecting your body as the years go by, this is something worth noticing. And if you find this kind of calm, practical guidance helpful, consider pressing like and subscribing. It helps these simple ideas reach more people, the ones that quietly matter the most. Because the truth is, your body doesn't always need more effort. Sometimes, it just needs a better beginning. It may sound too simple, but once you start noticing these small moments, you begin to see how often they appear. Let's start with something very familiar. You've been sitting for a while, maybe watching television, maybe reading, maybe just resting. Your muscles have relaxed, your joints have settled. Then you decide to stand. For many years, this happened automatically, smoothly, without thought. But now, there's a slight change, a small delay, a feeling like your knees are catching up. There's a woman named Linda. She's 73. She lives alone, enjoys quiet mornings with tea, and spends a lot of time reading. She began to notice something small. Every time she stood up, she felt a slight pressure in her knees. Not pain, just noticeable. At first, she ignored it. But over time, it became something she expected. Until one day, she tried something different. Instead of standing up right away, she paused. Just for a few seconds. She placed her feet firmly on the ground, leaned slightly forward, and before rising, she gently activated her legs, not forcefully, just enough to feel them wake up. Then she stood, slowly, and it felt smoother, more stable. What she discovered, without any technical explanation, was this. After sitting, your muscles are a bit inactive. Your joints are settled. If you move suddenly, your knees take more of the load before your muscles are ready to help. But if you give your body a few seconds to reconnect, to prepare, the movement becomes more balanced, less strain, more support. That's the 5-second habit. Pause, feel your feet, gently engage, then move. It doesn't change the movement. It changes how you begin the movement. And that changes everything. Have you ever noticed the difference between standing up quickly and rising slowly with awareness? It's a small difference, but your body feels it, and over time, it adds up. Now think about the moment you begin to walk. You're standing still, maybe waiting, maybe talking. Then you take your first step. That first step is often the most important. There's a man named Robert. He's 78. He enjoys walking around his neighborhood every afternoon. One day he said something interesting. "It's not the walking," he said. "It's starting." He noticed that his first step sometimes felt uncertain, like his knee needed a moment to adjust. So he tried something small. Before stepping, he paused, just briefly. He gently shifted his weight from one foot to the other, not stepping yet, just feeling the ground, reconnecting with balance. Then he stepped, and it felt steadier, more controlled. Because here's what usually happens. When you stand still, your body is stable, but slightly passive. The moment you begin to move, your joints, especially your knees, must quickly adapt to changing forces. If you rush, that adjustment becomes abrupt. But if you take 5 seconds to gently shift your weight, to reconnect with balance, you give your body time to organize itself. And that first step becomes smoother, safer, more confident. It's not about walking differently, it's about starting differently. Have you ever felt that slight hesitation before your first step, especially after standing still? That's exactly where this habit lives, quietly. Now think about turning. You're in the kitchen. You turn to grab something, or someone calls your name, and you turn to respond. It seems simple, but turning requires coordination. Your feet, hips, and knees all work together. There's a woman named Elaine. She's 81. She still cooks every day. She noticed something subtle. When she turned quickly, her knee didn't feel as stable, so she made a small change. Before turning, she paused, just for a moment. She let her feet settle, adjusted her stance slightly. Then she turned, a bit more slowly at first, and something changed. The movement felt more controlled, less pressure on the knee, because turning quickly often creates a twisting force on the knee joint. And knees don't like twisting. But when you pause, even briefly, you give your body a chance to align, to let the hips lead the movement instead of the knee absorbing it. It's not about avoiding turning. It's about beginning the turn with awareness. Have you ever noticed how your body feels when you turn quickly, compared to when you take a moment to prepare? That small difference can reduce strain over time. Now think about stepping up or down, not a full staircase, just one step, a curb, a small height difference. There's a man named Harold. He's 76. He enjoys gardening. He noticed something when stepping down from his porch. Not pain, just a slight lack of trust. So he tried something simple. Before stepping down, he paused. He looked at the step, felt his footing, gently activated his leg. Then he stepped, and it felt more stable. Because stepping down requires controlled lowering. Your muscles need to support your body as gravity pulls you down. If you rush, your knees take more impact. But if you take 5 seconds to prepare, to engage your muscles before stepping, the load is distributed more evenly, less pressure on the joint, more support from the muscles. Have you ever stepped down quickly and felt that small jolt? Now imagine removing that feeling, just by pausing for a moment. A quiet adjustment, but your knees notice it. Then there's standing for a long time, waiting, cooking, talking. At first, everything feels fine, but after a while, your knees begin to feel it. There's a woman named Margaret. She's 79. She volunteers at a community center. She spends a lot of time standing. She noticed that after several minutes, her knees started to feel tired. So she began doing something small. Every so often, she paused, just for a few seconds. She gently shifted her weight, slightly bent and straightened her knees. Not much, just enough to wake up the muscles. Then she continued standing. That small reset made a difference. because standing still for too long can make your muscles less active, placing more load on your joints. But a 5-second reset reactivates the muscles, redistributes the load, gives your knees a break without needing to sit down. Have you ever noticed the difference between standing still for a long time and shifting your body just a little? That's your body asking for balance. Finally, there's the moment before sitting down. Something we do many times every day. There's a man named Joseph. He's 75. He enjoys watching the evening news. He noticed something interesting. Sitting down quickly feels different from sitting down slowly. So he tried something. Before sitting, he paused. He felt the chair behind him, aligned his feet, gently engaged his legs. Then he lowered himself, slowly. And it felt easier, more controlled. Because sitting down is similar to stepping down. It requires controlled lowering. If you drop into the chair, your knees absorb the force. But if you prepare, even for a few seconds, your muscles take more of the load. Your knees feel less strain. Have you ever sat down quickly and felt that slight pressure? Now imagine replacing it with a smooth, supported motion. It begins before you sit, not during, before. And that's the quiet idea behind all of this. It's not about making big, dramatic changes. It's about noticing the moments that already exist, the moments before movement, the beginnings, because that's when your body either rushes or prepares. And preparation, even for 5 seconds, changes how everything feels afterward. You may not notice it right away. It happens quietly. But over days, weeks, months, it builds. And one day you might realize things feel different. Standing feels smoother, walking feels steadier, turning feels easier. Not because you did something big, but because you paid attention to something small. Because your knees don't just respond to big actions, they respond to patterns. Tiny patterns. The way you begin standing, the way you begin walking, the way you turn, the way you step, the way you sit. Each one, a small opportunity to move with awareness, to support your body a little more, to reduce strain without adding effort, and maybe most importantly, to rebuild trust. Because sometimes the feeling isn't just physical, it's a quiet hesitation, a small question in your mind. Will this feel okay? And when movement becomes smoother, more controlled, that question fades, replaced by something else. Confidence. Not loud, not dramatic, just steady, reliable. The kind that lets you move without overthinking. And it all begins with a pause. 5 seconds, a breath, a moment of awareness. You may not notice it at first. It happens quietly, but over time, it grows. And one day, you realize your body feels better. So next time you're about to move, pause. Just for a few seconds. Feel your body. Let it prepare. Then move. Gently, deliberately, supported. If this idea resonates with you, try it today, just once, and see how it feels. And if you'd like to share your experience or hear from others discovering these small changes, feel free to leave a comment. If you found something helpful here, consider pressing like and subscribing. It helps these quiet insights reach more people. Thank you for spending this time here. Take care of your body, gently, and may your movements feel a little more comfortable, a little more steady each day.